LynchPros.com. Fall in love with your home again. Trust the pros.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
Good morning, 10:01. We have 51 degrees. It's going to be mostly sunny, windy today with a high 63. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Amazon says it's fixed a problem that affected large parts of the internet this morning. ABC's Rhiannon Alley says the issue centered on Amazon data centers in Northern Virginia that power Amazon Web Services.
According to the app that tracks problems like these, Down Detector, some of the sites affected were Amazon, Prime Video, Disney Plus, which is owned by the parent company of ABC, Lyft, McDonald's, Snapchat, United Airlines, Venmo, and Verizon. And some United and Delta customers even reported on social media that they couldn't find their reservations online, they couldn't check in, they couldn't drop their bags off.
While Amazon says the issue has been fixed, there are still some lingering effects this morning. Federal government remains shut down today. The Senate meets this afternoon to try for an 11th time to end the shutdown, which started October 1st. Unless something changes soon, food aid programs like SNAP and WIC are expected to start running out of money by the end of the month. Maybe one of the largest single-day protests in U.S. history. Millions turned out over the weekend for the anti-Trump No Kings rallies. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
Organizers say nearly 7 million people took to the streets for the No Kings protests to protest what they call an abuse of power by President Trump. The demonstrations happening in more than 2,000 cities and towns, 200,000 people showing up in the president's own backyard in Washington, D.C. The protesters say they were fueled by the president's sweeping cuts to the federal government, his crackdown on immigration, and his decision to send the National Guard into Democratic states.
President Trump calling the weekend's demonstrations a joke. Gunfire in Milwaukee over the weekend killed 4 and injured a child.
It started with a double shooting on Saturday morning. 2 men ages 33 and 43 were shot and killed near Appleton Avenue and Ruby Avenue. Police arrested a 35-year-old suspect. Then Saturday evening, 3 people were shot in the area of 19th and State Street near Marquette University. A 6-year-old, 23-year-old, and 38-year-old were taken to the hospital for injuries. Then on Sunday night, 2 people died in a shooting near 27th and Atkinson. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Home sales across the Milwaukee Metro up about 7% last month, according to a report from the Greater Milwaukee Association of Realtors. Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Washington counties all saw increases. Home prices up about 10% compared to last year, averaging $446,000. Number of homes listed also up about 8% last month. Renters beware of landlord scams. In a recent Wisconsin case, a tenant had a water leak and never got a response from their landlord, which eventually led to a ceiling collapse. DATCAP consumer expert Michelle Ryan tells WTMJ what happened next.
Local officials inspected the damage, deemed the property uninhabitable, so the tenant began researching the property to find other contact information for their landlord, and they discovered it was listed as a short-term vacation rental on Airbnb.
In this case, the tenant was unable to recover their money. Ryan recommends confirming a rental property's address and landlord's contact information on common rental listing websites before signing a lease. A fourth quarter comeback and flash of dominance on defense fuels the Packers' 27-23 win over the Arizona Cardinals.
From the 26, here comes Parsons. Wow!
Katie Albert with the call on Fox. Micah Parsons' sack of Jacoby Brissett halted the Cardinals' attempt at a last-second win. It was the first road win of the season for the Green and Gold.
The Packers' first lead of the game came with 1:50 left in the game after a 1-yard touchdown run by Josh Jacobs. The key play on that drive, a 15-yard pass from Jordan Love to Tucker Kraft on 4th and 2.
Big-time play by Tuck to go out there and get that. And then obviously to finish it off with a touchdown was huge.
Love finished today with 179 yards and a touchdown. Micah Parsons recorded the first 3-sack game of his career, one of which came on the Cardinals' final drive of the game.
When it's time to win the game, just something just switches, and that's what we practice this week.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 386 points, NASDAQ up 316, S&P 500 up 67. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:05.
You ever hear a deal so good you think, what's the catch?
Yes, when I got a free gym membership, and the catch was I still had to go.
Well, right now, Capital is offering great financing, no catch.
No selling a kidney?
Nope, just easy financing and honest service during Capital Credit Days. Now through October 31st, air conditioners start as low as $65 a month, furnaces only $59 a month, or a complete system only $117 a month.
Capital, where you choose cool or cozy with no catch financing.
Call CapitalCares.com.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. It goes fast. Winter is right around the corner. Hometown Windows and Doors will help you keep the warmth in and the cold out with energy-efficient windows and doors from top brands like Pella, Marvin, and Anderson. Hometown is here for you. They listen. Hometown will help you find the products for your home, your budget, and your style. Visit their beautiful showroom in New Berlin today. Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. HometownWindows.com.
If you own a company or you're in management, you know how valuable your local employees are. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Show your gratitude with a company holiday party at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, recently voted the best supper club in the area. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Half your employees' dinners are free, saving your company hundreds of dollars, and they get a great dinner in a fantastic atmosphere. The Fox and Hounds, tucked into the Kettle Moraine Forest, the warmth and aroma of the real wood-burning fireplaces hits you as soon as you walk in the door. And the holiday decorations are incredible, putting your employees in the holiday spirit. Gift cards make perfect holiday gifts. With the buy one dinner, get one free offer, it's like getting a free gift card. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive is beautiful. I love this place. Book your company holiday party and order your gift cards today at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Relax tonight. Enjoy your free dinner. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Packers picked up a win on the road. Green Bay secured a 27-23 comeback win over the Arizona Cardinals. Packers have won back-to-back games to improve to 4-1-1, first place in the NFC North. Wisconsin football team continued its losing streak. Badgers shut out 37-0 by top-ranked Ohio State Saturday at Camp Randall. Team's been outscored 71-0 over its last 2 games. Wisconsin now 2-5 on the year, ahead of a road matchup with number 6 Oregon on Saturday. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We had a left lane block due to a disabled vehicle. Highway 18 east of Glenview Avenue. Looks like that has been cleared off. A little slow. I-41 southbound Highway Q to the zoo, but no other major problems on the freeways this hour. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny, windy, high today 63. A chance of showers tonight. It'll be cloudy, still windy, an overnight low 45. Scattered showers possible tomorrow, high 54. Just a slight chance of rain. Wednesday, 50 for the high. Thursday, sunny but cool with a high 53. And Friday, mostly sunny, up to 60. Madison at 51, Green Bay 50, Milwaukee 51 degrees. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
All right, Monday's underway on the Point Taken show. Kristin Brey, Steve Scaffidi.
Are you jet lagged? Caught up?
I think I'm caught. I went to bed super after that draining Packers game on Sunday. I went to bed at 8:30 last night.
I went to bed really early last night,
Full
too.
disclosure. I think there's certainly a degree of jet lag that happens when you travel as much as we traveled over the last 2 weeks. And just the constant moving around and hotel to hotel, first world problems. But I think I finally settled in. But then the Packers unsettled me, and we'll get to some of that later because it's just like, oh my God, I'm dropping F-bombs at my TV again. How did I get to this? I had been so good for years. And now
I'm not cursing at the television?
Yeah.
And now you're back there?
And now I'm back there. We'll get to that at some point in the program today. I did catch a little bit of the weekend shows yesterday morning, and then I sort of caught up last night earlier in the evening while I was trying to get over that Packers win. It's a sad.
Get over the Packers win.
Yeah, just we
won.
And we did win, which my wife reminds me of constantly. But it was a weekend of protests.
It certainly was.
Now, what I appreciate about protests is when they're peaceful and nonviolent. Yeah, which I guess some people are surprised by it. I never thought that it would escalate.
They were nonviolent the first time back in June.
Yeah, no, but I think the opposition party thought they were going to be violent. At least they wanted to make that argument. And they did it over and over again on all the morning news shows, and we had certainly commentary from the same cast of characters, the Mike Johnsons and others, Caroline Levitt, which we'll play some of that audio in the second segment. I'm not surprised. I love the fact that people who are in opposition to this administration could get together on a Saturday or a Sunday, even Friday, I guess in some cases, and could voice their displeasure at what they see going on. So,
7 million people.
Yeah, which is not an insignificant number.
7 million
That's
people
impressive.
Turned out for more than 2,700 No Kings protests, which is about 2 million more people than the protest that was in June. And here, there was one in Cathedral Square, which was the one in Milwaukee, but I think there were some all over Wisconsin, including rural areas of Wisconsin.
Real quick, I was driving. Where was I at? I was either on the way back or the way up to Wisconsin Rapids. Your
parents,
place where
my parents live. Yeah.
Yeah. And two guys on a bridge. No kings.
Yeah.
Two random dudes on a bridge that I didn't even know what bridge it was. Just some random guys somewhere doing their thing for protest.
Yeah. And so it will be interesting because part of the have you heard about this 3.5% theory?
No.
So, political scientists Erica Chenoweth and Maria Stefan's widespread research on the power of nonviolent protests. So basically, their research looked at how nonviolent protests impact authoritarian regimes. And so basically, they identify that once 3.5% of a country's population is engaged in a sustained, so not just one day, but a sustained nonviolent protest, authoritarian regimes find it difficult, if not impossible, to carry out their agendas. And so I think this number started getting thrown around ahead of June's No Kings protests and how close that one day got. And I think even now, with more numbers of looking at that as far as a consistent resistance towards some of the things that we've been seeing over the last going on now 10 months from this administration of people, a diverse coalition of people who are not happy with multiple aspects of this administration's actions.
And you know this because I've said this before. You've asked me about this before. I'm not a huge protest guy.
You're not a protest guy at all. You said you've never been to one.
Yeah, so
you've been asked to talk at that one though.
I absolutely have been, yes. And and at some point in the future, maybe I will because, as you know, I've been an outspoken critic of this administration, which I'm not unique in that thing. But what makes me more unique is the fact that I identify as a Republican and continue to say things I think that more Republicans and conservatives should say. But what I loved about some of the imagery that I saw. Moms, dads, kids, homemade signs, not a lot of that, the polished stuff that, parties and other, organizations put out. Just kids making signs and expressing that there's a reason why they use the term no kings. And the president responded to this and said he's not a king. Otherwise, it would the shutdown. It wouldn't be a shutdown, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that was what Mike Johnson said.
Yeah, but again, the actions and the words of the president often are diametrically opposed to the things that other people say about this administration. I think that's something we have to be aware of. Whether it's the beginning of something or just a moment in time, because we've had now two large demonstrations. One was 2 million, one was 7 million. If the next
there was 5 million and now it's 2 million more. It was 7 million this last week.
So if the next one's 15 million?
Be a lot.
That's a lot of legs for a
there's also a note that there, for the first time, especially compared to the first administration, that there was more mobilization in red states than there has been in the past, which is maybe something to keep your eye on.
I think people forget sometimes. They think they see red state and they think everybody agrees with everybody on everything. No, that's not the case.
No.
And even in our state, there were parts of our
at,
state that had that sort of that weird...
states that vote, let's say 65% Republican or for in this last election for President Trump, it's still a lot of people who didn't vote for that, right? As far as pure numbers. In a percentage-wise, that's obviously a sweep, but it's still a lot of people in any given state that have a variety of opinions.
So let's take a break. We're going to play some of the audio of the sort of the response to these No Kings protests, and we're going to talk about something the president and his administration decided to put out in response to the protests, which, as I've said many times about this president and this administration, are probably as unpresidential an act or in this case, a meme or a viral video that you could ever possibly do from an office of the President of the United States. But here we are, 9 months, 10 months.
10 months?
Yeah.
10 months tomorrow?
And as you asked on the podcast, you need to listen last episode, what's next year going to look like if we're already at this point where we're seeing that kind of stuff come out? Point taken on this Monday edition right here on 620 WTMJ.
The leader in the dugout, the skipper, the man who riles up the crew with his words of inspiration.
You mean my old ass? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, that's our guy. Brewers manager Pat Murphy joins Wisconsin's Morning News every Tuesday at 8:45 for Brewers 360.
We're a team that the other team's going to feel us. You're not going to walk away from a series and not be felt. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristin Brey, and if you're in the market for a new dentist, you should check out my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economowalk Dental Care. I can assure you that he will prioritize your needs no matter how sensitive, just like he did with mine. So whether you need a simple cleaning, an exam, teeth whitening, or a more complex dental procedure, Economowalk Dental will always make you feel as comfortable as possible and give you and your family an amazing smile. The holidays are coming up. You want to look good for those holiday pictures. But also, dental care doesn't have to break the bank. Dr. Michael's fantastic staff can set you up with a no-interest payment plan. So, we all have to go to the dentist. Do not put it off any longer. Call and make an appointment today with my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economowalk Dental Care. Just go to drmichaelsdentalcare.com or call 262-567-7224.
Does your bathroom belong in a haunted house? Or maybe it's just time for a refresh. WTMJ and Sidex are back with the beautiful bathroom contest. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion valued up to $10,000. It's easy. Snap a pic of your scary shower, terrifying tub, or even just one you're tired of. And enter now at WTMJ.com. Sidex makes it easy to go from fright to fabulous.
Thanks for joining us on this Monday, Kristin Brey, Steve Scaffidi, Point Taken. So the protests over the weekend, there's always the administration response, and we've got a couple of pieces of audio from White House Press Secretary.
So the first one was Caroline Leavitt.
Karen Leavitt.
And her, I mean, I think we know at this point Caroline Leavitt is
she should run a PR firm.
She is a loyalist.
Yeah.
And what we don't have audio is there was a different conversation as far as why Budapest was chosen for a certain meeting.
Yeah.
And both her and another spokesperson, when asked why was Budapest chosen, or who chose that location, and the official White House response was your mom, which is juvenile at best. But this is Caroline Leavitt talking about the Democratic base.
The Democrat Party's main constituency are made up of Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals. That is who the Democrat Party is catering to, not the Trump administration and not the White House and not the Republican Party, who is standing up for law-abiding Americans, not just across the country, but around the world.
I used to call her White House Barbie, but I don't want to do that because that sort of dumbs down what I'm going to say next, is that she is literally acting as a PR spokesperson for the Republican Party and this president. That's not really what this job was ever intended to be. You can certainly present the administration's position, but it's gone far beyond that. Name calling. Hillary Clinton, and I'm the last person to defend Hillary Clinton, used the term deplorables for half of the voters, and many people never forgot that. But yet this stuff happens every day in this administration. It's just ignored. I don't get it.
What was it? Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals is the most of the Democratic base. And so, I mean, obviously she got pushed back for that because I would say most people in the Democratic base are not those things.
She also apparently doesn't know any Democrats, because I know a ton of Democrats, and I'm not a Democrat, but I actually like them, and they live great lives, and they fit in none of those categories. So she apparently has never met one that she could actually classify in a different way.
So then this was Mike Johnson yesterday on the Sunday shows.
Speaker of the House.
Reacting to what was on Saturday, the No Kings protest.
The politics were on full display. The politics, the spectacle is what the mobs, the crowds, the rallies this week were all about. It was It was quite ironic, though. The irony was very glaring. They called it the No Kings Rally. But the great irony, of course, that we pointed out over and over was if President Trump was a king, the government would be open. If President Trump was a king, he would have closed the national parks and the National Mall, so they couldn't have had the rally out here.
Look, I've said what I said about Speaker Mike Johnson. He's a liar. He lies about politics all the time. I know there's like some people think there's special dispensation for that. I don't. So he can say what he wants to say, and he's certainly spouting more of the administration's position that this is all about Democrats. But again, I'll remind my conservative and Republican friends, you have the power in Congress, in the White House. It's what you do with that power. And part of that power in my world, as someone who understands the C-word compromise and understands how things actually get done from a local perspective when I was a leader, is you have to work with the other side. This administration, this party now, and conservatives, most of them, not all, there's still some good folks out there, are basically saying we're not going to do anything with Democrats ever again, and we're going to do everything we can to take them down. And I understand, they understand the demographics of this country, right? They know that in the future, their political possibilities looked a lot less, how would I say this, positive than they do if they can't play around with gerrymandering, illegal alien arguments, all these things that they're trying to do to sort of dumb down politics. Now they've taken over the Department of Justice, the FBI, so they actually could put their thumb on elections and more accurately, post-elections. Those are things we should all be worried about. So I could care less what Speaker Mike Johnson says. He's worthless to me. He uses politics as his sort of arguments when he's the most political human being, maybe beyond Donald Trump, that you could find. So I don't know what his point is. It's silly. It's stupid.
Well, it's messaging. I mean, it's messaging, right? It's like it's trying to win the messaging. Because I think ultimately, if there is this much momentum going for a resistance movement, there has to be a counterbalance to that. Now, the big thing, I think, more so than Caroline Leavitt, more so than Mike Johnson, that I started to see yesterday, you shared it, Joe shared it, was this AI slop video that came out from the White House social media account of President Trump in a fighter jet with a Highway to the Danger Zone plane, and him being an AI video, it was fake, taking off, flying over Manhattan, and dumping gallons, if not tons, of feces on protesters.
Right. The President of the United States.
And, you know, the argument being it's free speech, it's trolling, lighten up. What was your reaction to it, Steve?
I was going to use the S word because that's what it was, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. This is what we're down to now. The President of the United States, it was AI produced, but he pushed it out. The president.
Well, whether he did it or the social media team did it.
Doesn't matter. They're all connected.
The optics, yeah.
He pushed this out from the office of the President of the United States. And I'll remind the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, that you represent all citizens, even those that don't agree with you. So that's the first part. The second part is these games they're playing with videos. They've been doing a lot of this lately. We had the sombreros on some of the Democratic leadership, and they still did that yesterday again, I believe. I don't understand why we want to dumb down the office. I don't understand why we want to dumb down all of the conversation about politics to this kind of stuff. If the president is arguing that free speech matters, which I'm not sure he understands really beyond a basic level, because I've said it over and over again, I don't think this is a smart person in the office of the president. You may disagree, and a lot of people do. But I can't defend this, and I asked two of my conservative friends to defend it. One well-known, one not. Neither one did.
Did they respond at all?
No, because they can't defend it. Because it's silly and stupid, and it's dangerous. What's next if we allow this stuff to keep happening?
So I saw this. Let's take a break and come back and talk about this. If you have thoughts on this video, if you saw it, 855-616-1620. Let us know what you thought of this AI video. We should probably set it up so people, I don't know, should we try to figure out a keyword so people can see it if they haven't?
Sure.
Do you want to share it?
Sure.
All right, I'll figure that out at the break. But stay with us. This is Point Taken.
Your way inside the huddle.
Hut one, hut two.
Without putting on any pads.
Hi.
It's Green and Gold Insiders on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
When you're playing and you're going through the season, every win's a good win. Some are better than others. Beat a really good team, it feels like a better win, but that's hard to do in the NFL.
Green and Gold Insiders is presented by Window Nation. It's Green and Gold Insiders all season long. right here on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi from Milwaukee Weight Loss. I keep on rolling. Yes, I can't believe myself. I started the journey in January. It's already October. Lost 44, 45 pounds, on my way to 50, and I may even do some more next year. After being in the maintenance phase the beginning of the year, and then sort of getting back to the reduction phase now, I'll lose 10 more pounds. Not that difficult, but Milwaukee Weight Loss is the reason why I feel better, stronger, and more confident than I have in years. If you're frustrated like I was with all the trendy stuff, the shots, the meds, some of the fad dieting, this is basically done with willpower, smart, doctor-developed natural plan, helps thousands of people just like me and you, because you're part of this. 10 to 20% of their body weight, lose 10, 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks. Yes, it's possible. I lost 30 pounds in 8 weeks. Ready to stop that yo-yo diet? Take control of your life and your weight. There's a smarter, faster, and safer way to do it. Reach your goals. Milwaukee Weight Loss and their incredible team, great coaches, by the way. Schedule your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com or call. Don't wait. Call 262-393-2334. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Get 2 mattresses for the price of 1.
Whoa, what are you doing?
We don't do sales at Penny Mustard.
I know.
So how can we offer 2 mattresses for the price of 1?
Because with a flippable, 2-sided foam or coil mattress from Penny Mustard, it's like having 2 mattresses for the price of 1.
You'll give each side more time to breathe.
And your mattress will last twice as long.
See? 2 for 1.
2-sided mattresses, available every day at Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Thanks for listening to Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. Texas says you're normalizing these actions. How am I normalizing these actions? I think they're insane and crazy. That's
when
not
the real
normal.
goal is the dismantling of the entire U.S. way of life, because that's what Putin wants.
That's probably is what Putin wants, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the fact that the president and his administration put out a video that's disgusting, basically, whatting on protesters who are doing just demonstrating their free speech.
Well, and so I think I saw Jake Tapper talking about this on his social media. So there is if you put this in context, like you already referenced, right? Hillary Clinton, in a gaffe moment, called half of Trump supporters deplorables.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden, I would say, in another gaffe moment after Kill Tony or whatever, Tony Hinchcliffe had made that terrible joke about Puerto Ricans at the rally ahead of the election last year, calling, the island of floating garbage. And then Biden's gaffe after that saying the only garbage I see are Trump supporters.
Right.
So there is at least 2 historical gaffe moments of presidents or presidential candidates talking ill of other Americans. This feels a little bit more planned and not a gaffe moment of like, this is part of the strategy.
Sure.
And I don't know if that makes it, I think it makes it worse as far as we are inciting our base to think this is funny, to think this is justified, while literally pooping on Americans who are demonstrating their First Amendment right. But I don't know. Nothing surprises me anymore. Does this surprise you?
No, because this is what they're doing. I'm smart enough to figure this out on my own. I'm not a PhD in politics, but I certainly understand this. What they're doing, this administration is basically saying to people, Democrats are the worst of the worst. Never vote for them again. And oh, by the way, if that plan, that PR campaign doesn't work, we're going to make elections really hard for Democrats to win by cheating, essentially, gerrymandering our way to changing how states vote. And then, if that doesn't work, we have the Department of Justice, the FBI, can sort of step in and clean it up after the mess that we, in fact, lost an election. And if you think if Trump would have the ability to do in 2021, which he has now, that election would have been flipped over. No doubt in my mind. With the current setup he has now, that's why this is dangerous. All of this is ridiculous, and the reason Republicans won't stand up for it is because it's embarrassing. What talkers will do will...
I mean, some Republicans are standing up for it.
I hope so, but most of them will just ignore it. All right, local news and the rest next.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. If you've been trying to get on to your favorite apps or websites today and you've been running into some trouble, it could be because Amazon Web Services, which hosts many of the world's top sites and apps, crashed today. Things are slowly getting back to normal, but some sites, including the Wall Street Journal, are still having trouble. Still no one in custody in connection with the jewelry robbery at the Louvre on Sunday morning. Many of the French crown jewels were taken. Arthur Brand is a Dutch investigator and calls it the heist of the decade.
What everybody fears is that the gold and the silver will be melted down and the jewels will be taken out and sold separately.
President Trump is threatening to cut off all U.S. aid to Colombia, calling that country's president, Gustavo Petro, an illegal drug dealer. Following another military strike on a boat in the Caribbean, Petro says fishermen, not drug dealers, were killed. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. The death of a 4-year-old boy in West Dallas ruled a homicide. According to the medical examiner, Dante Campbell was found unresponsive in bed by his parents Saturday morning, died at the hospital. West Dallas police have not released any additional information. Aldi has plans for another Milwaukee area store. The German grocer wants to construct a store in Franklin on Church Street and Highway 100. If Franklin's Plan Commission approves the project, it could open sometime in 2026. And Summerfest planning to fuse music and technology in a new way next year. Organizers rebranding Summerfest Tech into Summerfest Tech AI to better connect with festival goers. Summerfest Tech AI will take place alongside the festival next summer. Time for news about your money. In the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update, the Dow is up 369 points at 46,559. NASDAQ up 312 at 22,992. S&P 500 up 66 points at 6,729. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. A new crash on I-41 South, about a half mile beyond the ramp from Highway 60. This crash is blocking the right lane. We also have a right lane block due to a disabled vehicle, Highway 175 South at the ramp from West State Street. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny, windy today, high 63. Cloudy, windy overnight with a chance of showers and an overnight low of 45. Chance of scattered showers tomorrow with a high 54. Just a slight chance of rain on Wednesday. Partly sunny, still breezy, high 50 Wednesday. Sunny, cool Thursday, high 53, and mostly sunny and 60 on Friday. Right now, we're at 52 in Madison, 51 in Green Bay, 53 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Hey, WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi here. Are you a member of the State of Wisconsin Pension Program? If so, you may have questions about your benefits and what they mean to your retirement plan. Join me along with Annex Wealth Management Director of Financial Planning Eric Strom and Senior Financial Planner Tom Burkholz on October 21st at 3:30 p.m. We'll discuss fundamentals, like how to look at your statement, and go deeper looking at case studies that may help relieve concerns and answer your questions about WRS. That's Tuesday, October 21st at 3:30 p.m. Register now. Visit WTMJ.com or events at AnnexWealth.com.
Save big money on all your electrical needs at Menards. From wire, tools, testers, and more, Southwire is the perfect choice for your next electrical project. They offer innovative products to help you get your project done right. Hurry in today and save big on all Southwire products at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm with James Imaging Systems client Preston Clark. He oversees IT services at Creative Business Interiors. Preston, you get the benefit of one-on-one relationships with the James team, like when your sales rep said something unexpected. What did they say?
Hey, this is a little high. You're not printing as much as we thought you were going to print.
Then the James team member had even better news.
Correct. Let's bring that down. Let's make it a little cheaper and still keep you on the same program.
The James Managed Print Services Program. All your document output devices bundled under one invoice that includes service and supplies for one low cost per print. Nice, right, Preston?
Yes, felt great. Felt secure, Don't have to worry about, again, somebody just coming in and selling something and then walking away and never hearing from them again.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Point taken on this Monday. Thanks for joining us. Always appreciate the listens. If you miss any or all of our show,
you can always listen to it as a podcast. Just text POINT to 855-616-1620. We will send you a link to our WTMJ.com page, and there you find links to Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcasts.
And we got a lovely email over the weekend about the podcast.
For the You Need to Listen podcast.
Love it.
So our newest episode of that came out Thursday, actually recorded before you left for vacation. And it's kind of relevant to what we started to talk about this morning, was that there is, I think, as members of the media who work in opinion and not, because when you're a reporter or a journalist, you report the facts, right? You decide what stories you get assigned, which stories you go after, and you report the facts as best as you can. When you work in opinion, you have to choose. And, for our show, we talk about Wisconsin news, we talk about Milwaukee news, we talk about national news. And every day we come in here and it's up to us, Steve and I, what topics we want to talk about. And I think sometimes, I don't think we're alone in this, in the query of, not the query, but just basically the obstacle of how do we talk about Trump?
Yeah.
Do we not talk about it at all and talk about other things? Do we try to talk about this administration in a way that is not so harsh so that people who disagree with us don't just tune us out? And so that episode really talks, it's more, for me specifically, because I think I was kind of at the end of my rope when we recorded that, as far as a very personal, anecdotal feeling of trying to be in media in the year 2025 talking about politics. So if you want to listen to that episode, you can text LISTEN to 855-616-1620.
And just to compound on what you just said, one of the challenges is to talk about these things that are somewhat ridiculous and somewhat obscene and just so far-fetched in politics now in sort of a sane, rational way. And that's the struggle we have to deal with. And I have, for all the people who say I have...
Without sounding redundant, too.
Yes,
just the same, sounding like a broken record.
So all the people who say I have Trump derangement syndrome, I give the president credit. He correctly identified what people were concerned about in the last election. Border policy, crime, inflation. Now, he hasn't done that much on inflation, a topic we'll talk about in a little bit. But he sort of touched that need by voters to say, oh, that president is listening to what I'm saying. So I give him credit for that. But when I think about these issues, what we're trying to do here is to present as much as we can the facts of these stories. They're not going to be convenient for either side. They're the facts. And we're going to do a story about, in a second here, about the huge amount of money that the city of Milwaukee, and you could go with the county of Milwaukee as well on their side of the transit side of this story, where you're not getting what you're supposed to be getting when you provide services and parking tickets or bus service. If we're not collecting the fees that are supposed to be there, it creates huge budget problems and missed opportunities for things you could actually fund that actually benefit the entire community. But when I see these challenges now, the biggest thing that I'm noticing between Republicans and Democrats is I think there's a disconnect. So where there was sparring last year, there's sort of a pulling away. It's natural after a big election. I see the sides pulling away.
What do you mean by pulling away?
Just not engaging. I'm not hearing all the side conversations I used to hear about elections. Matter of fact, when I asked my Republican friends about some of this stuff, they just ignore it.
Do you think there's just more people who are disengaged from news in general because they just feel overwhelmed and
they were told not to trust the news?
Focused on other things.
Now they ignore the news. And I would bet that in the next 6 months to a year, we will see a significant reduction in the number of people consuming traditional news sources.
I think that's already happening.
Yeah, I know it has. But
that's already happening. I saw, this isn't a news source. Did you see that Wikipedia's web traffic is down 8%?
Yeah.
And so I don't know I think some of that is also across the board. And this goes to when you Google things, AI for like Gemini's, which is the AI for Google, is now kind of summarizing things, so you don't even have to click into a website and you get your answer just summarized at the top. So there's things like that. There's moving away to Substack. There's Twitter. There's a lot of different ways to get information if you're choosing to still get it.
Yeah.
That is not necessarily the rigorous fact checking that goes through a lot of traditional newsrooms.
I'll make an even bigger statement. I've seen the sort of, I use the term degradation, but you could use whatever term you want. When I watch the news or news programs, and I'll pick one, for example, today has like a 3-hour, 4-hour show now. It's
You
so
mean
much,
the morning show?
Yeah,
Okay.
on TV. It's so much fluff now.
I mean, morning shows have always been.
Yeah, there's a lot more hard news than there used to be than there is now. I mean,
On the morning show?
Absolutely.
Like what?
What do you mean? There was more hard news. That's the statement I'm making.
I don't know. I always feel like we were a Good Morning America household, which I always feel like maybe one story in the hour was serious, and there was a lot of like steals and deals.
Our generations are different. Okay. You couldn't grow up in the hard news.
Were you a big morning show guy though?
Sure,
I feel like you'd be
I
off
always
to work by
consume
then.
news. I always consume news.
You would
Always.
watch the morning show.
If I was
You're
around.
at NBC House.
You got to remember, I was a remote worker for many years.
Okay.
So I was in my house working across the country by phone, which is not the phone or Zoom setup we have now. It's hard to do. But I was home a lot when I wasn't traveling to some godforsaken part of the country. But I see these sort of degradation. Even in radio, it's changed. We're not, we're a news station, but I can guarantee I turn our station on and hear a lot of non-news stuff every damn day. Is that a good thing? It shows, I think, that our audience.
What's not news?
I don't want to call anybody out. But
No, I'm just saying, but like I think, but this goes back to the point that there has to be, I think, for the sake of the listener, a variety of types of news, or you're
Sure.
going to lose people. Because I think I wake up every morning and I have all the newsletters that I subscribe to, and in trying to choose options to send to you to be like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And if the entire show is just bad news, if the entire show is just complaining, you're going to lose people. That's just our show alone, let alone an entire news station and trying to pick the sports news, trying to pick feel-good stories, trying to pick like a variety of things that are beyond just what's happening at the federal level with this administration that is still information that it's good for people to get.
Let's put it this way. Everyone loves petting a puppy, but petting a puppy on radio is probably not the best radio, right? That would be my point.
Okay.
So when you see that sort of breakdown, that's concerning. We don't consume news like other people. Let's be honest about that. We read the newsletters in the morning. We watch the programs. We go online and look.
We're not normal.
No.
Or healthy.
So our view is not necessarily the public's view. And maybe this is what the public wants. I mean, we're being bombarded every night with reality TV that's the opposite of news. It's just insanity. And the public seemed to like that. I had this discussion with my sister-in-law over the weekend. Don't tell me I can't watch, whatever. It's like, I'm not telling you can't watch it. I'm just saying it's making us dumber. That's the argument. I'll hang my head on that argument every day of the week. It is making us dumber. And if you watch or consume less news, you will be dumber. And it also makes it easier to accept, going back to our original concept, all the BS that's coming out of this administration.
But there's also the fact that you went 10 days or more without reading almost any news, and you still basically got an A on that news quiz on Friday because
I have
there's
common
something to be
sense.
said as far as you don't have to be up to date on it. Unless you're talking about it, there's an argument I get for people that just hanging by the edge of your seat on any given news cycle is not necessarily healthy or sustainable.
Ignoring the news doesn't make you smarter.
I know, but that's not a binary decision.
It might make you happier, but it's not going to make you smarter.
Let's take a break and come back and talk about what we were planning on talking about.
WTF Milwaukee is the way I label this next segment. That's coming up.
Does your bathroom belong in a haunted house? Or maybe it's just time for a refresh. WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Beautiful Bathroom Contest. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion valued up to $10,000. It's easy. Snap a pic of your scary shower, terrifying tub, or even just one you're tired of. And enter now at WTMJ.com. Sidex makes it easy to go from fright to fabulous.
Hey, this is WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for Advent. Snoring, don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't keep my wife, Kathy, up at night because I did something about it. I went to Advent 6 years ago now, and they fixed it for me. I had a 30-minute visit to kind of check out their beautiful facility. They put me at ease. We asked each other questions, which is the way it should work on a consultation. We did a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. They determined my problem, very common, sinuses and nasal passage in my breathing triangle. After a short procedure done in office, breathing better than ever, sleeping through the whole night. If you're struggling like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out breathing well and sleeping well, I say this all the time, can make your nights better. Go to adventknows.com and schedule an appointment today. Do not wait. Change your life, change your sleep life, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. It goes fast. Winter is right around the corner. Hometown Windows and Doors will help you keep the warmth in and the cold out with energy-efficient windows and doors from top brands like Pella, Marvin, and Anderson. Hometown is here for you. They listen. Hometown will help you find the products for your home, your budget, and your style. Visit their beautiful showroom in New Berlin today. Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. HometownWindows.com.
Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Continental, General, you name it, we got it.
Plus, free flat tire repair, free tire rotations, and more.
So when you're due for tire service, schedule it at richlawns.com.
That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns.
All right, this is a more local story.
This is a local story. So we actually touched on this a little bit with Jeremy Janine on Thursday when he was here. But actually, he had a funny, it wasn't his actual headline, but it was the other HPV. And parking violators are habitual parking violators. And the city's new plan to try to recoup the $41 million of outstanding parking tickets.
Say that number again, just so people hear it right.
$41 million. And so, so we talked about it a little bit with Jeremy. And basically what it was before is without a notice, if you have 5 or more unpaid parking tickets, if you are parked illegally, the city can just tow your car. So then you're kind of left being like, was my car stolen or was it towed? So now they are going to send initial notices to Milwaukee residents saying you have 5 or more unpaid parking tickets. If we see your car, you will get towed unless you can now immediately go on a payment plan. So sometimes the feeling of I have so many unpaid parking tickets, I'm just going to avoid it altogether. But being able to go on a plan where you're paying $20 a month or whatever to pay them off, of giving people an off ramp to start to pay back the money. And so it now is just the upfront cost of sending those communications out, and then obviously having more enforcement of potentially towing these cars if they're found. This is on top of the fact that we are moving forward from the state level, and this has happened while you were gone too, of reckless drivers now being able to have their cars impounded immediately, whether or not they own the car, if they are caught driving recklessly.
I wasn't here for Jeremy, although I always appreciate his appearances. This just pisses me off.
Which part?
Just the whole thing. The one that you could let it get to $41 million. The fact that we are essentially, I don't want to link the city and county because they're different problems.
Well, these are, so the $41 million, that's a city thing.
Yeah, and the county problem is people not just jumping on buses for free, and they sort of make that their way of life, and they never pay again. And whether you can fix that problem, I don't know. Who knows? I don't ride the bus. I understand it's necessary for people to get to work. I see these stories, and it's like, I know there's a process. I was reading the Journal Sentinel piece, and I want to give the writer credit because it's always important. Anna Kleiber, who's actually a really good reporter at the Journal Sentinel, and that's the name of the paper if you don't recognize that name, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Not the local paper, it's the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. So I get that there's always challenges to this stuff, But when I start to see this, and it's the context, well, it's in poor neighborhoods. Like, oh, they don't have to follow the rules. They live in a poor neighborhood. No, pay your damn fines. I don't understand why this is a poor argument, a poor neighborhood versus a rich. Pay your damn fines. Stop parking illegally. Is that hard? We're in this country now where everyone just kind of does whatever they want to do. Remember, we enforced shoplifting. Now we just let them walk out the door. Hopefully, we'll get them at some point with the video. That's how things have changed. We accept criminal behavior like it's nothing. I understand this is not criminal, but we accept behavior that's not appropriate. And if we have $41 million, despite having a collection agency, and I would argue that maybe we don't have the right collection agency if we have $41 million, but the city does what the city does. Fix this. It shows.
Well, it also costs money to fix it, right?
Absolutely.
It costs more money to be able to put more parking people down there to be able to find the car, But there should be. I think this is one of the things that Jeremy and I were talking about as far as the technology inside of some of the parking meter made cars, looking at license plates.
Mm-hmm.
But it is interesting as far as, because one of the things that was pointed out was that there was areas that with the most violations overlap with some of Milwaukee's poorest zip codes. And so the chicken or the egg as far as putting citations for people who can't afford the citations, and then those accumulate, and then in this story, one of the Common Council members said we were punishing some of the poorest people in Milwaukee. But the thing is, okay, go ahead.
We're punishing people, particularly those that already can't afford it. That's District 10 Alderperson Charlene Moore.
Which doesn't feel like the right word.
No.
Because you're not punishing them. They got a citation for parking illegally. And is it a different question as far as what it costs me as a percentage of my income to pay a parking ticket is different for someone who is at the poverty line. And so should there be a sliding scale if it's proven by what you owe or what you earn every year? There's a different conversation for that. But that also takes procedures and it takes money to be able to implement a different, more eloquent parking meter program to be able to maybe afford it depending on how much you earn. That makes sense.
And also the years this isn't going back to 2000. This is going back to 2018, not that long ago. Here's one of my answers. Take the worst offenders. They could be out of city, in city, I don't care. Publish their names, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, once a month. Who are these people? I'd be curious to see that. Because I have a feeling it's people.
Public shaming? That's your answer?
Because I have a feeling there's people that would be on that list that have the means. They're just not going to pay their tickets. They don't care.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This me generation we live in now where I can just do whatever the hell I want. I don't have to listen to anybody's rules. That's what's driving some of this. Not all, but some. Did I just point at you? I apologize for that. I'm pointing in general, not at Kristin Brey, my lovely co-host and smart co-host. All right, so we have a little bit of time. I went too long in this segment.
It's okay.
It's all right. I was fired up.
You want to talk about what this money could go for?
Yeah.
On the other side of this?
Absolutely. Let's do that.
Pay for some new fire trucks.
Coming up next.
You know that display in the bookstore of employees' top picks?
With the little cards and handwritten reviews. Well, if Penny Mustard had a top pick section, it would feature the Dane bedroom.
My card would say, smoking hot. You'll feel more sophisticated with the Dane bedroom in your home.
My review would read, the perfect balance of iron and wood makes the Dane bedroom stand out from the rest.
And mine would say, I find this compelling, beautifully written tale to be both haunting and rollicking, gritty yet sensitive, crackling with pitch-perfect phrasing. A triumph. I only wish it had more pictures.
Anyway, the Dane bedroom's clean, crisp lines match any decor.
With forever tight bed brackets and drawer bottoms strong enough to stand on.
Wow, I can't wait to see the film adaptation.
The Dane bedroom with king floating panel bed, 8-drawer dresser, mirror, and 3-drawer nightstand, starting at $82.48 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
They saved over $50,000 after we sold their home at only 1.9%. You don't have to pay 6% to market and sell your home. Hundreds of Century 21 Benefit Realty clients will attest. You can get it all for only 1.9%. The more value your home has, the more important it is to find the best real estate commission and the marketing ability to get top dollar. And with Century 21 behind us, that's what we have. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. Half a century of marketing expertise joined with over 20 years of local market knowledge. Not to mention the savings you'll see after you get our best commission right up front, which, by the way, is only 1.9% on the listing side of your home. Join that together and you can be sure that you've chosen the right real estate experts who have the experience to market your home effectively and give you a commission that'll end up paying for things like new furniture. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Treat your valuable employees to a company holiday party at the historic Fox & Hounds restaurant. When you buy one dinner, you get one free, so half your employees' dinners are free, saving your company hundreds of dollars. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. That's foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi here to talk about my brand new show, WTMJ Outdoors. We love the outdoors in the great state of Wisconsin and beyond. We're going to talk with outdoors experts, bicycling, resort owners, rock climbers, hunting and fishing, camping, all things Wisconsin outdoors. Join us every Saturday, 2 to 3, right here on 620 WTMJ.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, real quick before we get to the top of the hour news, one of the ways we can spend that money that they're not collecting in the city of Milwaukee is on the fire department. Chief Lipsky, friend of the show, been on many times.
Friend of the station.
Says he needs more money for his department for equipments, which last time I checked is sort of an important thing when you're a firefighter in Milwaukee. Upwards of $14 million.
Yeah.
Just
basically our fleet is outdated for the fire trucks. We talked about that with Jeremy too.
Yeah. So when you talk
this feels like a high priority.
When you talk about, not collecting funds or not getting enough money to run our city properly, or in case of the county, there's a reason why that stuff matters, and this is that reason. And I respect Chief Lipsky immensely. He's really good at his job. He doesn't throw fluff around or just draw numbers up in the top of his head or on a paper napkin and say, this is what I need. He does his homework. He knows what he's talking about. This is a problem that you have to start at the beginning to fix, and the beginning is to make people pay what they owe. All right, news is next, 620 WTMJ.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents, sponsored by the original knowledge broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today, Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, let's talk about employee benefits today. R&R Insurance provides employee benefits to all of us here at Good Karma Brands. Great program. So when it comes to benefits, what are some of the signs for business owners that they are with the wrong provider?
That's a great question, Vince. Given that employee benefits are a company's second or third largest expense, and it impacts the company's greatest asset, their employees, selecting the right insurance partner is incredibly important. Most frequently, we see last-minute employee benefit renewal proposals, leaving you forced to make a quick decision without adequate information or data. Lack of a comprehensive open enrollment strategy. No ongoing communication plan with employees. You really need both to be successful. And cost is important too. A big increase in cost without an explanation is the biggest red flag.
So, Jeff, you have firsthand knowledge. There are some agencies that are not servicing business owners like they should be.
There are, Vince. R&R Insurance can help erase a bad agency experience. We'll use our strategy and expert resources to help you control costs and maximize the value of your employee benefit plan. Plus, we provide local management, service, and support all over the state.
So what else can R&R Insurance provide that sets you apart?
We help employers brand their benefit package in a customized, easy-to-understand fashion, taking out the complex and confusing nature of shopping for health insurance. More importantly, we'll manage and provide as much support as you need for your open enrollment and beyond. With our latest mobile technology, your employees will have easy, immediate access to benefits information for themselves and their families 24/7.
Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
It's like you don't want to even do anything anymore. You lay in bed in the morning, putting off the pain. You put off your workouts. You put off your walks. And yard work, that's just not even an option anymore. As we speak, pain is taking away more and more from your life. And unless you take action, it's going to get worse. And that's no way to live. Not when there's a Rejuvenex clinic nearby. Because the power of Toradol, joined with the wonder of hyaluronic acid, can alleviate your pain. And it can allow you to start living your life again. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. At as low as $65 per injection per joint, Rejuvenex treatments are affordable. They're FDA approved. And in many cases, our patients pay nothing at all. Because insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, pay for them. If your pain just won't go away, you should call Rejuvenex today.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Google reviews will tell you it's worth a try.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11:01, we have 56 degrees. It's going to be sunny and windy today with a high up to 63. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. In West Allis over the weekend, a 4-year-old boy died, police calling it murder. The parents of Dante Campbell say they found their son unresponsive in bed Saturday morning. He died at the hospital. West Allis police have not released any additional information. President Trump meeting with Australia's Prime Minister at the White House. ABC's Karen Travers says trade will likely be a main topic as the U.S. and China fall into another trade dispute over rare earth minerals.
We have a really large trade surplus with Australia, and there's actually very low tariffs on Australian products coming into the United States, 10%. That's the baseline tariff that the Trump administration put on countries around the world. So Australia has benefited from not seeing something more significant than that. But the big issue that they're expected to talk about, according to one of the president's top economic advisors, is rare earth metals, those minerals that are so critical for electronics, semiconductors.
Two also expected to discuss the larger issue of security in the Indo-Pacific region. Issues that affected numerous popular websites and apps have been fully mitigated, according to Amazon. Issues started overnight with Amazon Web Services, which provides the online infrastructure for scores of sites and services. According to Down Detector, users of Zoom, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Alexa, Venmo, many more, all hit with tech problems. There was another boat strike over the weekend. 32 people were killed, and Colombia's president now speaking out. U.S. lawmakers want to know if it's legal. CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor Watson following the latest.
The two survivors from that strike on Thursday were repatriated to their home countries of Colombia and Ecuador, not Venezuela. The massing of forces in the Caribbean and the strikes in the Caribbean have appeared to be part of a pressure campaign on Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela, but we're now learning that the strikes are more expansive, targeting not just alleged drug smugglers out of Venezuela.
The strike, the 7th in recent weeks by the Trump administration on boats in the Caribbean. The American Cancer Society is hosting an event this week to help people with cancer gain food security. American Cancer Society's Kim Abel tells WTMJ.
A lot of people who have a cancer diagnosis have to make trade-offs, whether or not they're going to forego medical treatment or actually get food on the table.
The Food Security Forum will be held Tuesday morning at the Oak Creek Community Center. Drama in the desert, a late touchdown and defensive stand helped the Packers complete a fourth-quarter comeback for a 27-23 win over the Cardinals in Arizona. After allowing a Cardinals touchdown with 7 seconds left in the second quarter, it appears the Packers would trail 13-3 at the half.
Instead, Jordan Love completed a 22-yard pass to Romeo Doubs, setting up a franchise record 61-yard field goal from Lucas Havrasik, an eye-opener for head coach Matt LaFleur.
I didn't envision that going into the game.
Signed off the Colts practice squad 9 days ago, Havrasik is 4 for 4 in field goals and 6 for 6 on extra points.
He's answered every challenge that's been put in front of him. We don't win that game without his ability to go out there and make all his tries.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Fans packed out Fiserv Forum for Sunday's open practice for the Milwaukee Bucks. While energy was high, players know they aren't the preseason favorites and are looking to prove a lot of people wrong. Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo tells WTMJ.
We're not the favorites, but we're going to be a problem.
We're going to be a problem. We're going to be dangerous. The team is set up in a way that is very, very dangerous. We are set up exactly how you need to set up to make a statement. Our goal is Wednesday. After that, stay healthy, and after that, get to the playoffs. Be in the playoffs and try to win the playoff series.
Bucks open against the Washington Wizards Wednesday night at 7. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 360 points. NASDAQ up 311. S&P 500 up 63. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 11:05.
We're rolling out another weekend of fun at Fleet Farm's Oktoberfest. Dress up the kids in their Halloween best and stop in Saturday, October 25th from 9 a.m. to noon for a little in-store trick-or-treating. And be sure to enter our costume contest at 11:30, where we'll be giving away free gift cards to the cutest, coolest, and the ghouliest. Bring the whole family in for big fall fun at Fleet Farm's Oktoberfest. And thanks again for being a valued customer.
From those with no experience to firearms enthusiasts, all are welcome at Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. The staff is deeply committed to providing a welcoming and engaging environment for everyone at every level. Learn the right way to handle firearms, level up your skills, and experience replica firearms from different historical eras while learning about their role in protecting our freedoms throughout history. Visit veteran-owned and managed Mission 94 in Kenosha today. Check out the 5-star reviews. Just Google Mission 94.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Froedtert.com to find out how.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Green Bay secured a 27-23 comeback win over the Arizona Cardinals. Packers have won back-to-back games to improve to 4-1-1, first place in the NFC North. Badgers shut out 37-0 by top-ranked Ohio State Saturday at Camp Randall. Wisconsin now 2-5 on the year ahead of a road matchup with number 6 Oregon on Saturday. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. According to multiple reports, Milwaukee Bucks waving forward Tyler Smith to reach its initial 15-man roster. Milwaukee begins the regular season Wednesday with a home game against the Washington Wizards. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. That crash, I-41 south, about a half mile beyond the ramp from Highway 60. What's blocking the right lane? It looks like that has been cleared off. There is a ramp closed for maintenance until late this afternoon. We should say mid-afternoon until about 2 o'clock. That's going to be a ramp from I-43 south to I-794 east. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny, windy today, 63 for the high. Wind overnight with a low 45 and a chance for showers. Scattered showers possible tomorrow, high 54. Just a slight chance of rain on Wednesday, otherwise partly sunny, breezy, high 50. Sunny and cool Thursday, high 53. And mostly sunny Friday, 60 for the high. 57 in Madison, 55 in Green Bay, and 56 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Hello, hello. We are very excited, as always, on Monday to be joined by our friend Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management, to get the preview for the week and things that he is thinking about when it comes to our economy. Dave, how you doing?
Nice to hear from you. How was your weekend?
Well, it was good. Besides that, as you and I talked last week about the Brewers, we had a very different mood than we were in last Monday talking about the Brewers.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I had Packers stress if you're interested, Dave.
That's it.
All right. Yeah, well, are you going to Pittsburgh next weekend?
I will not be going to Pittsburgh.
So,
sounds like
Dave,
fun.
if you want to go, my husband aggressively bought tickets to go, and now we're not going. But he still is trying to sell the tickets. So if you want,
open offer
if you
there.
want to go, we have tickets for you.
Well, and the other 50,000 people listening too, right? So
That's it. Yeah, shoot me an email
So
if
if
you
you
want
have
tickets
tickets,
for the Steelers game.
Kristen's only doubling the price of the face value. So if anyone wants
double. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's got to be 3
That's
or 4
right.
times value. All right, Dave. The I word. I don't think I've asked you about this in a while, but I was obviously out of the country. The president, Donald J. Trump, says he's beat inflation. So what do you think? Are the numbers presenting a different picture? Can we try? I added this to our show notes. Can we trust the numbers coming out of this administration? Because they don't like them. They could.
Well, it's also we're not getting any numbers because
Yeah.
the government shut down.
Yeah.
All right, so go back and look at the numbers that we've seen, which is generally the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They report those numbers, and so you don't have to believe the White House numbers. And in fact, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. You generally look at these numbers, and you can see where we've been with inflation. In fact, there's a chart out there if people want to look it up from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and you can see where we were. Peaking in 2022 at around 9% or so and continuing to come down. And if you look at 25, where we are, 2025, March, April, and May, 2.4, 2.3, and 2.4%. Now, it's ticked back up, and that is true, and there's probably a lot that goes into that. And in fact, we're probably expecting for the year over year, probably around 2.9%. The Fed wants around a 2% number. That's the number that they keep coming back to, is they want inflation to be around 2% long term. But there's a lot that goes into it, be it what's happening with China or oil prices or all of that. So, no, it's not beat, but it's not out of control either.
All right, so I pulled this up because we all get these newsletters in the morning because it advises us of where things are at in the country. And I also looked this up between the morning and your appearance. Roughly 80% of the workers in this country have 401ks. Numbers for the year: NASDAQ up 17.5%, S&P 13.3%, Dow plus 9%. If you're a new investor, and I use that term in sort of the digital way, a Bitcoin investor, plus 19%. Those numbers suggest that things are going pretty well. You lead a financial planning company. Hard to argue with those numbers.
Yeah, they're hard to argue. And in fact, you have to really look where it started. So it happened from April to where we are right now. And so there has been a rally, but you'll remember there was a swoon from the beginning of the year to the beginning of April when all the tariff talk. Now, we had a little bit of a reignition of that fight, right, with China while you were gone.
Right.
It's kind of de-escalated here a little bit, but there was certainly a lot of talk about those things. But the market has really done well. And when that happens, if you want to take it from how your 401k is doing to really every day to from Wall Street to Main Street, if you will, that generally means that if you have higher 401k plans, you have what's called the wealth effect going in. And when the wealth effect is in place, people look at their 401ks, they feel better about spending, they go out and spend money, and that helps GDP. And so when consumption is up, that generally increases wealth spending. However, let's be honest, it is not equally distributed across all income strata. So there's no doubt that the upper income folks are really doing the bulk of the spending. And the folks on the lower end, go back to your first question, are feeling more of inflation. So there is this bifurcation. It's not a secret. We've talked about this for years, you and I, that there's a bifurcation in the economy. So the people on the lower end really feel those higher inflation numbers that we saw, and those who are on the higher income strata continue to spend. But when you look at it in aggregate, you can see inflation generally coming down and spending generally continuing where it's at.
Great time to ask this listener question, because I always get these questions when I talk to you. Okay, so for some of you, talk about some of the lower income folks, the folks who don't have a lot of discretionary income. But yet we always talk about it's a long-term play, saving for the future. When they have very tight budgets, as an advisor, when Annex talks to a customer, a new client that says, okay, I don't have a ton, what do you say to them? How do you approach that topic?
Well, what we have is we have different verticals, if you will. And so we have private client, and those folks in private client have amassed a lot of assets. And so that conversation is different from our Ignite vertical. And Ignite is people who are just getting going. Perhaps they're younger people, perhaps they're either younger people that are just having to earn some things, right? So that is happening. So that conversation is different, Steve. And when we do that, obviously, if you can save in your qualified plan, if you're in a qualified plan at work and you are able to save pre-tax dollars and get that matched by your company, that's manna from heaven, if you will. And so you want to do that, and that's generally where you want to save. So two basic things that you want to do to your listeners that are just getting going. Number one, invest in your qualified plan if it's available to you. And number two, control your debt. If you don't have a lot of credit card debt or a lot of home debt, you're able to do that. But what we're seeing sometimes is people come in, Steve, and they don't do either one of those things. They're not saving in their qualified plan because they feel they can't afford it. And on the other hand, they have all of this debt. So we try to coach people into reversing those things.
Sometimes it just starts with the conversation. AnnexWealth.com, great place to get started. And oh, by the way, tomorrow afternoon, 3:30, you can go on AnnexWealth.com or go to WTMJ.com. We're going to be talking about some of those long-term plays. And for those in the WRS system, the pension system, we're talking about that tomorrow at Annex. I'll be there at 3:30. You can join us. Just subscribe or sign up online at both of those platforms. And I'll be joined by Eric and Tom.
Great. Yeah.
Great conversation.
Eric Strom and Tom Burkholz. Yep. And so the WRS pension, the state of Wisconsin pension plan will answer questions. And, of course, Steve, you'll be here. We're looking forward to it. Just sign up at Annex Wealth events. That's tomorrow, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Central.
All right. After the break, Dave Spano, let's talk about China. What to do about China. 100% tariffs looming. We'll discuss with Dave after this on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max, keeping you updated on culture and creativity.
The Wisconsin Film Office. We can say it out loud. It's going to happen. Academy Award winner John Ridley.
So I'm glad that Wisconsin is getting in the game. I hope they stay in the game. Wisconsin is great because it has so many different looks. It has so many different places. It has places that are untouched. It has places that are incredibly modern.
What's on Tap with Sandy Max. Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ.
WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Bootiful Bathroom Contest. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion valued up to $10,000. It's easy. Just snap a picture of your scary shower, terrifying tub, or even just one that you're tired of and enter now. Text BOO, B-O-O, to the WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620 or visit WTMJ.com to submit your picture and for full contest rules.
The Wisconsin retirement system impacts over 690,000 people, including police, firefighters, teachers, and UW employees. Join Annex Wealth Management and WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi for a free webinar. Understand your WRS potential on Tuesday, October 21st at 3:30 p.m. Learn how your WRS pension fits into your financial portfolio and planning. The Annex Financial Planning team is experienced with WRS pensions and holistic financial planning. Register at annexwealth.com/events. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
Dave Spano joining us as he does every Monday on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. I was just watching the monitors, and the President of the United States is talking about China, that he thinks they're on good ground and that there's some progress there, but he's also threatening, as you know, 100% tariffs, I believe, in November. Where do you think that story lands? How will that sort out?
Yeah, I think it's a threat, and to get them to the table. And when they said it, obviously the market freaked out. Since then, that was on Friday, I think, when you were gone. Sunday, he kind of walked it back. And yeah, I think for sure we've seen a de-escalation. If you with Scott Bessent is always the adult in the room. I like it when he's negotiating. He's headed over there to have a conversation, and so we're going to try to find some things that make sense between the world's two biggest economies. And where do I think it's going to end? I don't think you're going to see 100% tariffs, but at least we're going to get each other's attention.
What do you make of, I mean, this is kind because it feels like it's all collected, because we haven't touched on it at all as far as this money that's going to Argentina, as far as China not buying our soybeans because of the ongoing tariff war. They are buying stuff from Argentina now. We're sending money to Argentina. How do you square that as far as what the impact is on like geopolitical economy?
Yeah, well, and it's been happening, right? So stuff has been going to Vietnam. It's been, in fact, China was trying to send things to Mexico, having them then look like it was coming from Mexico and the United States to get around it. So I think that's going to continue to happen, and they're aware of that. But, all of this conversation, honestly, Kristin, it's been going back. I'm telling you, I remember having these conversations in the 1990s, and the arguments that we've been having with China. I remember the theft of intellectual property. Things were going over there. They were stealing whatever. Pick a major manufacturer. They were stealing their computers, and then once they had it, they had all the data, and then they were replicating what we had. So it's tariffs are part of that. Intellectual property theft is a big part of that. I mean, obviously there's so many things that are happening in cyber terror right now. So all of this is going to be on the table.
Oh, so I wanted to quickly, before we go, because I thought this was last Monday. I forgot to ask you, but the Sunday before last Monday, Andrew Ross Sorkin, who's a financial journalist, CNBC, he has this new book out. It's called 1929, and he basically spent a decade studying the crash and the Great Depression. And he is on kind of his book tour talking about applying lessons from that crash to today's market. One of you read the book. Are you going to read the book? And what do you think of his theories? So
he is an analyst that is on CNBC, but he also works for the New York Times. Now, you can argue that the New York Times has the best journalists in the world, or you can argue that the New York Times perception of the world is very liberal. It doesn't matter. The fact that he's writing a book about 1929, and the fact that he is a good author, he has lots of books, but the speculative bubbles that came out of 1929, we can see these things again. So we shouldn't get away from them, because they generally can be pretty dangerous. And you can't say, well, we're not going to have the same things that we happen. And what happened in 1929 was a run-up of debt, and you could borrow against 85% of your securities. You can't do that today. So there are for sure bumpers that exist today. And in fact, you'll remember in 2008 and 2009 when we had the great financial crisis, I'm telling you guys, that was a cascading failure of financial institutions. And when we were coming to work every day, we saw some of these failures, which were absolutely mind-boggling. You'll remember Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns and the rest. So you can't say that we can't have happen again. But regulation is really crucial to making sure that this doesn't happen again. But we should learn from it. There's no question. But the things that were in place in 1929, a lot of that stuff has been addressed. But remember, the regulators look backwards. They don't look forward. So in 2008, they put some regulation in place for 2008. There are different problems that aren't being addressed looking forward. AI, for example, cyber theft, all of these things are issues that could cause a major disruption, but they're not the deregulation that happened in 1929.
All right, what's the biggest story we didn't ask you about that's coming up this week?
Well, for sure, earnings. Earnings are coming out. You're going to see some really big names, whatever, Coca-Cola and the rest, Home Depot. And so right now, earnings have been good. About 75% of the earnings have been better than expected, and that's really the reason why you're starting to see some movement. You'll see Apple today hitting all-time high. That is because it beat, and from there, you had a bunch of analysts who raised their target. And when that happens, the market reacts to that. So earnings report this week will be the story.
Got it.
All right, if you want some more wisdom, join me and Eric Strom and Tom Burkholz from Annex. You can sign up at the events page at annexwealth.com. Understanding your WRS pension. I did one of these before. It's one of the most well-attended ones. They answer all the questions from all the folks who are tuned in. So it's a great opportunity to sort of fill in the gaps on your knowledge about your pension plan if you're a WRS state employee. Dave, I can't wait to get out to the Annex. Thanks, as always, for joining us.
I'll see you tomorrow, Steve. Yeah, thanks, Kristin. Kristin, I stopped in and waved through the window the other day. If you
I missed you.
Yeah. All right. See you guys. Have a good day.
Dave
All right,
Spano, the great Dave Spano from Annex Wealth. And as I always say, and this is a commercial, annexwealth.com. Click on the now famous Get Started button if you want to do what I did, which is now 4 years ago. Get started on a great financial future. Quick break, 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You've heard about Tri-County Contracting and their worry-free roof tune-up. You've heard about their instant roof quote. But don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also handles windows. Our project at my home moving right along right now, and the process has been so easy and thorough. It's nice when you can trust the team you're working with and know that they are looking out for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and also windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeanssitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
All types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Jeff Zergabel and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Half a century of marketing expertise joined with over 20 years of local market knowledge. Not to mention the savings you'll see after you get our best commission right up front, which, by the way, is only 1.9% on the listing side of your home. Join that together and you can be sure that you've chosen the right real estate experts who have the experience to market your home effectively and give you a commission that'll end up paying for things like new furniture. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. They saved over $50,000 after we sold their home at only 1.9%. You don't have to pay 6% to market and sell your home. Hundreds of Century 21 Benefit Realty clients will attest. You can get it all for only 1.9%. The more value your home has, the more important it is to find the best real estate commission and the marketing ability to get top dollar. And with Century 21 behind us, that's what we have. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Busy Monday on Point Taken. Kristin, Brey, Steve Scaffidi. You can always find us on our podcast page at WTMJ.com. That's Point Taken. That's You Need to Listen, which we just threw a new episode up. We'll be recording another one for the next episode.
About a week from this Thursday.
Yeah, and then you can also find Scaffidi. You got some great ones coming up with Denise Thomas. She does everything, and she's also helps out at The Truth here on occasion, and just a fun conversation. Who else did I talk to? I had somebody else.
What's your most fun podcast? Can you pick a favorite?
Yeah,
so like picking your favorite child?
Of course, it's You Need to Listen. You
don't have to say that.
No,
you get to do very different things.
They are two different things. I actually enjoy all the podcasts that I do, and I've done 5 or 6 since we started getting into podcasts. It's just sort of a different way of doing, the spoken word. And I love the freedom of a podcast because there's no commercial breaks. You just kind of riff. It's more relaxed. If you get wound up, you can certainly swear if you'd like to. And I would say that most of the commentary I get has to do with swearing.
You mean the feedback you get?
Yeah.
There's people who don't like it when you swear?
Yeah, there's still, there's the big, which, whatever.
Do you think it's a generational thing?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know if there's as many people who are my age who are offended by cursing.
Yeah, but if it's generational, why do people not care when the President of the United States used the F?
I think some people do care.
Do they? Yeah, because he used the F.
I mean, don't you?
He used the F bomb at a press release.
I think people who are offended by cursing are like they're offended by whoever does it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they pick and choose. Like, well, they're allowed to do it and they're not.
Well, didn't you have a story about cursing?
Well, no, I think as far as the studies, as far as people who curse are considered to be more authentic and usually have.
I was talking more about the impact on children.
Oh, my story. So I think we've talked about this before, but I was not in the situation yet where my child was repeating everything that you say. We've officially entered that stage.
Yes.
During one of the Brewers games, one of the Brewers losses, to the Dodgers. I cursed at the TV.
Oh, you, not Mike.
I did.
Oh.
And Frankie repeated, immediately repeated what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike looked at me goes, Kristin.
he scolded you.
And then, of course, he had to film it. And he's like, what'd you just say? And she really sounded it out.
Wow.
Really sounded it out. But she has not said it since.
That's good.
So I think as long as I don't say, it's more of the repetition that we're trying to avoid.
I can remember one of my grandkids saying it. And if you explain why you shouldn't use that word, they're usually pretty good about not using it again.
It's an in-house word.
Yeah.
Not a school word.
No, definitely not a school word. Definitely not a word you should use on the air on WTMJ either. All right, so a couple quick teases here. One, great conversation coming up about, I think, the Department of Public Instruction dropping the ball in Wisconsin.
This broke last Wednesday, and I was waiting to try to find. We're going to try to get the journalists from the Cap Times to talk about it and come on air tomorrow or Wednesday to get more insight on what went into investigating this. But this is a huge story, especially if you are a parent with a kid in the school system. We need to be talking about how to fix this.
And people have asked. We have Congressman Tom Tiffany, who is now a candidate for governor, on our show Friday at 11:35. So that's almost all the candidates we had. I think we're still waiting for Maria Lazar, but we're going to get them all on. So that's good for us. All right, news is next.
Michelle Franzen, the fragile ceasefire deal in Gaza flaring up over the weekend, but holding. The IDF says 2 soldiers were killed, and Israeli forces retaliated, killing at least 44 in Gaza. President Trump says no U.S. troops will go to Gaza, and he says there is international pressure on Hamas to disarm.
We had a dark cloud over the Middle East, and now it's all, we have a little situation relatively with Hamas, and that will be taken care of very quickly if they don't straighten it out themselves.
The president making the remarks while hosting Australia's prime minister today at the White House. He also announced a deal for the U.S. to access rare earth minerals for Australia. Amazon says it's pinpointed the troubles of its Amazon Web Services after an outage impacted websites worldwide, including the Wall Street Journal, Facebook, and some airlines. It is day 20 of the federal government shutdown. The Senate will take up a vote again later today on a measure to end the shutdown. It's not expected to pass. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. A gunfire in Milwaukee over the weekend killed 4 and injured a child. A 6-year-old was one of 3 hurt near 19th and State Street near Marquette University. Those killed include 2 men shot near West Appleton and Ruby Avenue Saturday morning. Sunday night, 2 were killed near 27th and Atkinson. Home sales across the Milwaukee metro were up about 7% last month. According to a report from the Greater Milwaukee Association of Realtors, Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Washington counties all saw increases. Home prices were up about 10% compared to last year, averaging $446,000. Number of homes listed also up about 8% last month. Landlord impersonations, the latest scam targeting renters. In a recent Wisconsin case, a tenant was tricked into signing a lease that turned out to be an Airbnb listing. Officials with DATCAP say a legitimate property should appear on popular rental listing websites with consistent contact information. Time for some news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets are still up. Dow up 406 points, 46,596. The Nasdaq up 309 at 22,989. S&P 500 up 65 points at 6,729. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 south about a half mile beyond the ramp from Beloit Road. Right shoulder there blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny, windy today, high 63. A chance of showers overnight. Still be windy and cloudy with a low of 45. Scattered showers possible tomorrow, high 54. Just a slight chance of showers on Wednesday with a high 50. Sunny and cool on Thursday with a high of 53. And then sunshine Friday up to 60. Madison 59, 57 in Green Bay and in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
We're rolling out another weekend of fun at Fleet Farm's Oktoberfest. Dress up the kids in their Halloween best and stop in Saturday, October 25th from 9 a.m. to noon for a little in-store trick-or-treating. And be sure to enter our costume contest at 11:30, where we'll be giving away free gift cards to the cutest, coolest, and the ghouliest. Bring the whole family in for big fall fun at Fleet Farm's Oktoberfest. And thanks again for being a valued customer.
I recently moved my dad into a Capri community. My dad has really blossomed since moving to Capri and has gained new independence. His falls have decreased, he's eating healthy meals, and going on new adventures. Knowing Dad is in a great place takes my worries away, and now we're both enjoying life again.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Hey, I've got a great idea. After a long week, relax with an ice-cold beverage and a great Friday fish fry at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. WTMJ's John Mercure here. With the fall colors here, the drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest is one of the most beautiful in Wisconsin. And the haddock fish fry is all you care to eat. All other dinners are buy one, get one free tonight and this weekend. Order your favorite steak, pan-fried walleye, salmon, pasta. I love the ribs, big fresh salad, even steak and lobster, any entree, all buy one, get one free. Desserts are also buy one, get one free. I really love that. De-stress with an old-fashioned. Choose from over 20 bourbons, 100 wines, 8 unique dining rooms, and your second dinner is free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine, an easy drive from anywhere in our area. Now serving a Saturday fall lunch from 11 till 2. Tables are open. Call and reserve your free dinner. Arrive early. Serving starts at 4. It's the Fox and Hounds.
It's a Monday on Point Saving. Doesn't mean we're at any less levels of energy than we would be on any other day. I am psyched up that the Packers did win that game. We'll spend a little time at the end of the show talking about that because it was more stress than I like for a Packers game. I like the ones where they kind of get up early and just kind of coast. Those don't happen very often anymore in the NFL because everybody's
The
competitive.
first 2 games this season, it felt like, oh, man, is this how the whole season's going to feel? Amazing. And then basically since the Commanders game, it's been a little bit more stressful.
And I think that's probably why my state of anxiety is as high as it is because I've sort of...
Your expectations were too high after those first 2 games?
I almost took a walk after that game last night, and I didn't really feel like taking a walk. I just had to get it out of my system. Anyway.
Well, all right, we'll get back to the sports thing. This I have to get out of my system.
The headline of this story is just mind-blowing.
Because this was a story, I don't even know how much has been covered on the station so far. So the Cap Times had a year-long investigation and found that the State Department of Public Instruction investigated more than 200 Wisconsin teachers, aides, substitutes, and administrators from 2018 to 2023 who were accused of sexual misconduct or grooming behaviors towards students. So this was information they're saying was previously unknown to the public. This is it's a very well reported story. We're trying to get the reporter Danielle DeClose to come on the show this week to talk about what went into investigating this. And there's multiple levels of this that I am frustrated with because first and foremost, this is the number one thing that we need to be like as a parent. And I'm someone who I am the type of person who I trust you until I don't, right? Like I probably am overly optimistic about human nature. And when I drop my kid off with someone, I always assume best intentions. And I am not a highly suspicious person of other people, for better or for worse. And so when I think about trusting teachers, trusting the people who have signed up to teach our children, take care of our children, protect our children, I give them the benefit of the doubt. Until you hear a story like this, of the amount of people who have signed up to work with kids and some of these stories that are inappropriate texting, are inappropriate touching. And there's a wide variety of what these cases are that require investigations, right? When there is a complaint, it requires an investigation. And then it also requires to make sure that there is follow-up to make sure these people, when they're found to be, whether it's negligent, guilty of what they're accused of, cannot be in schools again. I don't want to keep talking if you have something to say.
No, it's physical, verbal, and electronic. We have to think about the electronic piece as well. And just looking at the federal numbers, if we take them down to Wisconsin, which is what we're going to focus on, 1 in 10 students experience sexual misconduct from educators during their K-12 schooling. That number for Wisconsin, if you take the federal average, 93,000 school children.
So it's a really big deal, and we need to be talking about not only the accountability for how this happened, how it continues to happen, but also how we're going to fix it. And there is this report or this investigation already spurred conversations in the legislature to be talking about having actual laws in the book when it goes to grooming, how the Department of Instruction has to deal with these cases, because their point of view on this is that they had asked for more money in the last budget to improve systems, improve software for their tracking, and that was declined by the Republicans in the legislature. And my point is, this story by itself, if we knew that this was going on, whether it's Jill Underly or the entire DPI, trying to justify that they needed money to improve either having more people to be able to investigate these cases, because according to them, they only have one full-time person and another part-time person who are in charge of, along with other job responsibilities, of investigating these cases. And investigating these cases, as you imagine, takes a lot of time. And so having more bodies and more actual resources to doing these investigations, and if the Republican Joint Finance Committee is saying, no, we're not going to fund this, you take this to news reporters and make a really big deal out of it. If I'm Jill Underly, I am raising the flag before this story breaks last year during budget saying, listen, this is a big deal and we need more resources to address this, and they're not letting us. And the fact that she didn't start back then, this still falls on her. And the fact that she's not giving comment. She's been asked to testify, and she better get up there and testify. Otherwise, I don't see her having a career after this. I don't know how she comes out of this.
This is maddening to me, and it's a pattern of how she does this job as a superintendent of public instruction, where she just ignores the media, requests for information, requests for interviews. You work for us. You're not a private company where you can do those types of things if you want to. I would suggest you still should participate in a public conversation about your business. But she is ignoring requests for information about something. Here's the facts of this story. 461 teachers investigated in the last 5 years, roughly. 207 of them kept their credentials and continue to work in schools with children.
Well, and an investigation is just that, right? That's what an investigation does. If there's an accusation, it does not mean it is guilty automatically, right? If the investigation goes as planned and you are found to have done no wrongdoing and you get to keep your license, fine. But the other part of this is the fact that if you drop your license, they drop the investigation. And so then there's people who lose their license, but it is not listed as to why they gave up their license. That creates a lack of transparency of knowing who these people are, especially if they get hired at a school where they're no longer teaching because they don't have a license, but they get to do a different role at the school.
Look, if there's a legislative piece of this, yes, but you got to make the argument. You can't ignore that argument and just pretend like the spokesperson, Chris Butcher, said that it's because the agency is limited in funding. The state lawmakers consistently cut their operating budget. Then you need to be loud and proud about why that's the case.
You need to be much louder about that, because there's no parent who reads this who then doesn't get angry that there's not enough funding to make sure that there's not predators and groomers in our schools. You don't just say, well, we got our funding cut.
And the fact that Jill Underly continues to decline requests, the Cap Time is not a hostile news organization to anybody. I mean, come on here. This is ridiculous. And the fact that you're responsible for our system of education in the state of Wisconsin, and you can't ask basic questions. And I'll take it back to what happened in Milwaukee. When she was asked over and over again, how did you not know this? How did you not know they were having financial problems? She constantly was uninformed and uneducated. She goes, I think her direct quote was, you'll have to educate me on why that's happening. You're in charge of this. That demonstrates a pattern of incompetence that we should not have.
I've never worked in the Department of Instruction, so I don't know. But I do know that to a large extent, when we elect executives, whether it's the county executive, whether it's a mayor, whether it's a governor, they have entire staffs around them that are doing a lot of the policy work, that are more experts, and that gets filtered up to the figurehead, whose job it is largely to communicate to the public, right? When we're talking about David Crowley, he had never been a county executive before, and so when he gets that job, there are people around him who help him do that job effectively. Right. But the buck stops with him, because he is the county executive and he's the one who's going out there and communicating with the public on what the county is or is not doing. Same thing with the mayor, same thing with the governor. And so her job as the head of that department is not to hide behind her spokesperson, is to be able to communicate what the Department of Instruction is actually doing or not doing, and not to hide every time she is asked by the media to comment on what is happening.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but during the last election, she basically hid as well. She did. She didn't want to do anything other than what she basically had to do to be a viable candidate. So Jill Underly superintendent of public instruction, this is an epic fail. It's on you, and you better start answering the hard questions about why this is going on, because if you have sexual abuse of children, those children grow up at some point, and all the research, all the data suggests that a screwed up child, because of how an adult interacted with them, becomes a very screwed up adult. No surprise, we see that on display, full display, every day in this country. That is an epic fail from our superintendent of public instruction. And yes, we said it. And oh, by the way, she's welcome to come on this show and defend herself anytime. So that's our formal invitation. Jill Underly, how about coming on and talking about your side of the story? And please don't use the "I don't have enough money." That's worn out. And if you want to make the argument you need more money, you come on the air and you talk about it. Quick break. 620 WTMJ.
Networks, streaming services, retail chains, and tech giants are all adding plus to their names. But where did the concept originate? We may be biased, but we think these big wigs found their inspiration for plus at Hasseless Mattress. Hasseless showrooms are employee-free. Give your mattress a try with no pushy sales guy. Plus, our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Plus, unbeatable prices on Tempur-Pedic. Plus, free next-day delivery and setup. Plus, free haul away and disposal of your old mattress. Plus, 60-month interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic with approved credit. Plus, a $300 MasterCard gift card with your Tempur-Pedic mattress. Plus, a ruggedly handsome spokesman with a smooth radio voice. Get all this, plus a whole lot more when you shop at Hasseless Mattress. Or maybe we should change our name to Hasseless Plus. Nah. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasseless.com.
Does your bathroom belong in a haunted house?
Or maybe it's just time for a refresh. WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Beautiful Bathroom Contest. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion valued up to $10,000. It's easy. Snap a pic of your scary shower, terrifying tub, or even just one you're tired of. And enter now at WTMJ.com.
Sidex makes it easy to go from fright to fabulous.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
The fall home buying season is officially here, which sometimes means less competition among home buyers, but that doesn't seem to be the case this year, with most listings still getting multiple offers. Now, a lot of home shoppers just go with their bank for their pre-approval. But if you'd like to get into your new home for the holidays, now's the time to get started with a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet, or switch if you started somewhere else. Not only will we put a $2,000 guarantee behind our fully verified pre-approval, we'll also work with you and your real estate agent to craft offers that get accepted over the rest. Our favorite tool is to see if we can get an appraisal waiver for the property you're trying to buy. Sure, that takes more effort on our part, but adding those magic words, "no appraisal required," to your property-specific pre-approval can be the difference maker. And our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks for the same rate. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
October is here, and if you've got old windows, it's time to eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with Window Nation. Right now, during the Brewers postseason, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, plus pay nothing for 2 years. And be sure to ask how you can score a pair of tickets to a 2026 Brewers home game. Don't miss out on free windows, 0 payments for 2 years, and Brewer tickets from Window Nation, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Offering soon, so visit WindowNation.com now to get started.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
All right, let's talk a little fun stuff, although we just blasted Jill Underly.
Do a 180?
Yeah, let's do a 180.
Stark transition.
Now, full disclosure, I missed all the Brewer stuff because I was out of the country. So we were
You didn't miss all of it.
Well,
you
almost
could have caught Friday's the last game on Friday.
I did follow along as Shohei Ohtani did his thing on the Brewers.
That's putting it lightly.
So, I mean, the story was sort of an amazing one. The Arc beating the Cubs.
Which was incredible. So much fun.
You know, after getting the bye in the first round, so, you know, essentially getting to the league championship series, but then just sort of disappearing in the finals. So what was your take on all, I mean, other than saying the F word in front of your kid?
I mean, I think my take. I was listening to Dom Catronio on.
He's so good.
He's so good, and so he was on with the morning guys this morning, and I think he summed it up well. It's like you can be sad, you can be disappointed, you can want to have not been swept, obviously, in at least one game, but it was still a really fun season, and it was really fun to beat the Cubs. And this Lakers team is literally one of the best of all.
Dodgers.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the Lakers. LA Dodgers team is one of the best baseball teams ever. And you see like Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani is their first 3 hitters. It's insane. So to a certain extent, you can be mad that Mark Antanasio could bring on another owner and maybe spend some more money. There's different, but also it was a magical season. Would have been great to not be swept, yes. To if it won at least one game, yes. To have the offense not totally disappear, have Yelich show up, all these things. But the expectation that we could have overcome and actually beat the Dodgers,
of course.
I don't know. Maybe that was always outlandish.
But that's the whole thing. It goes to
believing in miracles.
Heightened expectations. We're so spoiled. We have great regular season teams in the state. Chicago can't do anything. They were lucky to get to the playoffs this year. They can't win anything. They can't win a series in any sports. They can't get to the playoffs in football. And yet in Wisconsin, Brewers good, Packers good, Bucks good, Admirals good. It's like we're spoiled.
We are very spoiled. Besides the Badgers football team this year, not so spoiled there.
Yeah.
But
why'd you have to bring that up?
Well, I'm just saying, things go in ebbs and flows, and that one's definitely in an ebb right now over there. I don't know how they're going to come back, but that's fine.
I wonder if Luke Fickle's looking for property somewhere else.
But so I don't know. I think it was a very fun ride, and you can't be. I don't know. I don't think you can be mad about it.
And let's look ahead to the Bucks. They start their season Wednesday night. I mean, that's there's a lot of. I'm actually excited about this.
Did you know that they had a free open practice yesterday?
I didn't, but you said you went.
So we were stopping by. A good friend of ours opened a new bar called Your Office, and he had friends and family.
Nice.
So we went to that during the morning. Stopped by there. It's going to be a new fun bar over by Cathedral Square. Then we stopped by Curd Fest over at Drink Wisconsinably, which was fun. Got some cheese curds. And what we didn't realize was that there was a free open practice for the Bucks at the Fiserv yesterday, just open to the community to walk in and check it out. And so we stopped in there with Frankie for a little bit, and that was really fun to see. It was pretty big crowd. So on to the next sports, on to the next season. The Packers have still only lost one, despite keeping us on the edge of our seats.
We're spoiled.
Yeah, so we're spoiled, even if you were not very happy with the Packers play yesterday.
And I apologize for using 2 F-bombs in my living room last night watching the Packers game. I do apologize. All right, quick break. 620 WTMJ.
All different types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Frank Pasternak and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Your neighbors are talking. Did you see their siding? Yikes. That drafty window? It's basically air conditioning. From nature. Don't be the scary house on the block this fall. Call Exterior Pros and Baths and get $3,000 off your roofing, siding, windows, or bath project. No tricks, just treats. That's 262-800-4274 or click your way to extpros.com. Fall in love with your home again. Trust the pros.
Since 1957, we've been making great pizzas. The recipe's the same, the dough's made daily like it's always been. The fresh veggies are cut daily, and the quality control remains as high as it's ever been. We gotta keep it high, because we know when you can count on consistency, that it keeps you coming back. So how about Marty's Pizza tonight?
Remember Marty's Pizza. Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza. Woo!
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Shop smarter with Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan, just a few seconds across the Wisconsin border. Award-winning, organically grown, quality products you can trust. Don't settle for knockoffs in Wisconsin. Get the real deal at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
I asked him what a town hall like this can actually accomplish, what it can do in 2025 in such a divided political climate.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
And I'm digging the opportunity to see the leaves actually stay on the trees because they change colors, and all of a sudden it's like poof, then it was gone in an instant.
I hear you on that.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I haven't heard this song in a long time. Takes me back to being like 26 in San Francisco.
26 for you, not for me.
Not for you.
We were talking about weekend stuff, and you had a great weekend. I was at a family wedding in the beautiful Wisconsin Rapids, which you know very well. It's absolutely gorgeous up there.
It is pretty up there, especially this time of year with the trees changing. And were you on the river?
No, I was on a lake, Arrowhead.
Okay.
But outdoor wedding, at least the
bold
in October,
bold outdoor mid-October wedding in Wisconsin shows that we're getting warmer falls.
We're stretching it.
And we're basically getting no spring anymore is the
Right.
changes. Speaking of, also, shout out to Jane in Oshkosh. I was in Oshkosh for a friend who got recognized at the alumni for UW Oshkosh, an alumni award.
Cool.
And Jane came up and said hi. Says she listens almost every show.
Love
Says
that.
thanks for stopping by and saying hi and listening.
If you ever have feedback, you can always find us by email as well. It's steve.scaffidi@wtmg.com. And Kristin?
Is KBREY@goodkarmabrands.com.
And we love reading the email. You don't have to agree with us. You can disagree, but I mean,
Don't call us names. The names is never helpful, but I'm a glutton for constructive criticism. So if you want to send me some constructive criticism, someone on the text line the other day must have been watching on the YouTube stream, and so sometimes I have a unconscious fidgeting from my ADHD, and so someone very kindly told me to stop playing with my hair. So constructive criticism taken and received.
I don't get much of that. I gesture a lot. All right, we'll do it all again tomorrow. Some important topics on the program. This has been Point Taken on 620 WTMJ.
Welcome to our Everyday Health feature, sponsored by the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Breast reconstruction is an important aspect of comprehensive breast cancer care, offering the opportunity to restore breast shape following mastectomy. Here to tell us more about breast reconstruction, including timing and approaches to reconstruction, is Dr. Patrick Hettinger, a Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin plastic surgeon. Dr. Hettinger, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
What is breast reconstruction?
So breast reconstruction is part of the surgical care for our breast cancer patients.